now we are in the afternoon session of IRENEC 2022. We have with us the President of Energy Watch Group, Hans Josef with us, and he will talk about a global zero emission economy by 100% renewables is necessary, possible, and economically viable. The floor is yours. You have half an hour, Hans Josef Fell. Thank you for your contributions in Germany and globally.
Yeah, thank you, Tanay, for invitation, for the introduction, for organizing this conference. It's very important to speak over these issues. I will highlight it in my presentations, why we have to come to 100% renewables, global and zero emission economy. It is very, very important. And I remember very well to the IRENEC conference in Istanbul when I could join in live. And unfortunately now the journeys are hard, Corona restrictions and plenty others. Though I hope we will have a good time also in video conference. I will share my screen so that you can follow my presentation. No, do you see it?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Maybe it's not open in your computer. Just open it first and share. Huh?
Yeah, I opened it. Now I do it again. Ah, now we have it. Do you see it now?
Yes, now we have it. That's good.
Very good. So let's speak of all in the first of the main problem what we have in the world. When we do not change our politics and our behaviors for climate protection, the humankind will, with his society, vanish and will not have a chance for existing. Some people perhaps, but not what we are used today. We all accepted in Paris to do not exceed 1.5 degrees global warming. But WMO report some weeks ago, the World Meteorological Organization announced that 2022, this temperature will be exceeded. It is very hard. It is very problematic. We have to do much more. It is not acceptable to emit any greenhouse gas emissions into the atmosphere, because the emitting of greenhouse gases will accelerate the temperature growth because of the growth of the concentration of greenhouse gases in the atmosphere. We have to switch to a zero emission economy with carbon sinks in a greening of the earth. Climate neutrality, the most important strategy of governments, of NGOs and others by 2050 is not enough. Climate neutrality will lead to a hothouse Earth that is not controllable by humankind. And therefore, we have to find other strategy. On the other side, we see terrible events with increasing the wars in the world, not only in Ukraine, but also in Ukraine. And a study of the German military 10 years ago highlighted that the dependency of fossil raw materials will lead to very serious risk for our peace. And now we see it. The dependency of Europe and Germany from the Russian fossil energies leads to the situation that Europe and Germany finance this war. It is incredible. We have to change it very fast, but not when we go to other regions in the world, to Saudi Arabia to finance the war in Yemen, or to Sudan to finance the war in Sudan, or to Nigeria, or to Libya, or to other fossil countries. We have to switch to 100% renewables. You see it here on the Global Peace Index 2021. The war in Ukraine is not yet included in this map, but you see where the oil and gas comes from, there is mostly the war. And the prices are exploding. The fossil prices explode since April and May 2001, not only with the war in Ukraine. The main price driving was before. And it is because of the scarcity of fossil raw materials, natural gas, mineral oil, coal, even also uranium for nuclear power. And the scarcity brings rising prices. We have no chance within the fossil system to go down with cheaper energy prices. Only with renewable energy is it possible. And we see on the other side, we have health crisis, a corona pandemic. They caused us 6 million deaths in 2 years globally. But air pollution cost 7 million globally per year. In Ukraine, for example, 50,000 deaths per year, more than this terrible war caused deaths at the moment in Ukraine. And air pollution brings cancer, lung diseases, and people with lung diseases suddenly get corona and die of it. So we have to change also the healthcare politics in the world with no emissions, with clean air, no water pollution, no radioactivity, no pesticides, antibiotics in food and others. Switch to 100% renewables is the best healthcare policy. And when we look to all this crisis in the world, we will find all this crisis can only be solved by the end of the use of fossil and nuclear energy with 100% domestic renewable energies. And this creates no geopolitical dependency because we cannot make a war over solar radiation, but wars over oil, we have plenty in the world. It is possible to go to 100% renewables. A big scientific group, the Global 100% Renewable Strategy Group, there are plenty researchers from USA in Stanford, from Australia, ANU, from Finland, Lappeenranta University, the Energy Watch Group, or Clean Tech Club, Aalborg University, and others. They made an announcement with political will, a transformation of the whole global energy sector to 100% renewables by 2030 and 2035 appears to possible when the political will is there. Solar and wind and flexibility will be the key pillars of energy supply, and a 100% renewable system will benefit the world by the whole. We showed with Lappeenranta University and with Energy Watch Group together already in 2019 with a global simulation that 100% renewables all over the world, all over the energy sectors, all hours, the whole year is possible. We can do it, and it is the cheapest system for energy, cheaper than the today's energy system. We simulated Germany to go to 100% renewables by 2030, and it is clear. It is possible. We can include all energy sectors, and we have even energy in dark winter times, in cold winter times, when we add to solar and wind, bioenergy, hydropower, geothermal. The fluctuations are partly balanced with the mix of renewables and with storage systems, very important. And this system is the cheapest system for energy. Today, wind power, solar power creates cheaper energy than nuclear power, fossil gas, and hard coal. And the decline of the energy caused by renewables is in the coming years clear. The more we use renewable energies, the cheaper they become. The more we use fossil and nuclear energies, the more expensive they become because of limited resources and scarcity. And you could add, yes, solar and wind is cheap, but a reliable system where we have all over the year, every hour, the energy with storage system is much too expensive. No, it isn't. We simulated investment into reliable 100% renewable systems, and we can see this green line. These are the investment costs. They sharply declined in the last decades, and now we are at the tipping points. Even the investment into 100% renewable systems is cheaper than the today's investment into fossil and nuclear. And we made this study last year in July 2021. Today, the prices of fossil and nuclear are much higher. So renewables are compared with them much cheaper. And we can show that a fast growth of renewables is possible. We can show it in Germany with a feed-in tariff law that made it able that everyone can invest into renewables and have a profit and a business. And it increased. You see on the red pillars, the targets of the German government years before. All these targets were exceeded, even in the time from 2010 to 2020, where we had a bad politics in Germany under Chancellor Merkel, who removed the best support for renewable energies with amending the Renewable Energy Act, the feed-in tariff, with a switch to auctioning, very terrible. It declined the possibility for private people, for communities to take part. But instead of that, we had an increase. When we would not had this decreasing of the support of renewables in Germany by Chancellor Merkel, we would stay in electricity sector by 100% renewables today, not in a far future. The growth rates are possible to go very fast. And in the center stands the investment by private people, community energy. You see here who invested in Germany into renewables, and you will find mostly private individuals, farmers, newcomers, startups, new small and medium companies. The big three companies, E.ON, RWE, Vattenfall, they invested less than 6% of the renewable investment in Germany. The big utilities are not on the side on renewables until today. The people are it who do it, and they have a big force behind them to come away. One example from my homeland. It is a small village, 1,000 inhabitants, Großbadorf. They invested 10 years ago in a 100% renewable system for electricity, heating, and transport sector. A big biogas station brings only in wintertime heating for all houses in the village and electricity when solar is less. They invested into a lot of solar, into a wind park, and they have now power demand 475%. They sell electricity to the big cities, Schweinfurt, Würzburg, and others, and they have all heat. In the inauguration 10 years ago, the people, Mr. Klöbel, told in his speech, we do not fear when Putin will cut the natural gas pipelines for Germany. He could see a very long view. And we have plenty other examples. Like Rosbadorf's, we have 100 villages who are already 100% renewables. They do it and they are cheap. We have even a big district, the Rhein-Hunsrück district. In 1995, they were one of the poor houses in Germany. Today, because of their big investment into wind power, in solar power, in biogas, into bioenergy and others, now they have prosperity, welfare. They have no debts in public budgets. They increase the jobs. It is a positive example. Everyone can follow them. Everyone can do it. You must not wait to the governments that they make the best conditions. You can do it by yourself because renewable energies are now the cheapest option. Do it by yourself in your village, in your town, in your country, everywhere, and you will be independent from rising fossil prices. But we could have been much faster in Germany. I told already we could have had 100% renewables in 2020 when we did not have a strategy of renewable obstruction organized by European Commission and organized by the German government under Chancellor Merkel with her ministers. And they switched the positive support for the people with feed-in tariff to an auctioning system. This auctioning system leads to the situation that the private people did not have a chance to invest with community power. And this leads to a decline of acceptance and only the switch to big finance structure and to a fast decline of renewable investment. Here you see the result. In 2 years, from 2012 to 2014, photovoltaic investment declined from 7 gigawatt to 1 gigawatt in Germany. In wind power, it was nearly the same in 2018. Auctions hinder the exponential growth of renewables. We have no reducing cost because of auctionings. We have no access for all actors. We cannot achieve the renewable targets because auctioning system is limiting the growth. And we have a decrease of the acceptance of renewables. Go back to a clear renewable feed-in tariff. And Vietnam shows how positive it can be. Vietnam invested without a feed-in tariff into photovoltaic roof systems in 2019, 370 megawatt. 1 year later, with a feed-in tariff, 9,500 megawatt. It is nearly impossible. But it was only the stimulating by a good feed-in tariff. Go back in Turkey, in Greece, in Spain, in Germany, everywhere in the world to a good feed-in tariff. A feed-in tariff should be made modern. Give a feed-in tariff for reliable investment, for the investors who make an investment in a mix of solar, wind, bioenergy, and batteries. When they feed up the grid with electricity that the grid operator needs, and not only when the sun is shining and the wind is blowing. Combined renewable power producers need an extra feed-in tariff. You can organize it by law in your countries. Now we have a new chance. The period of Chancellor Merkel, who declined the renewable growth, is over. We have Social Democrats, the Liberals and the Green in a coalition. And now they want to expand renewables, all agreed, and they want to support community power. It goes very slowly, but it goes. We have to accelerate these targets. And we need to make more positive politics for that. And this is clear. I mentioned it already. We need laws to stimulate the private investment into renewables and other climate protection technologies. The investors for renewables must earn money and not the polluters with oil and coal and nuclear and natural gas. We need a best fit-in tariff, cancel the subsidizing for fossil and nuclear energies, make tax reliefs for renewables. A carbon tax can help. Research and education is important on your university and everywhere. Remove all obstacles for approvals. Dispose big areas for reforesting and regreening to organize carbon sinks. Not successful is tendering, auctioning system, and emission trading. Cancel emission trading. It helps not the world for renewables and for climate protection. And you can see a lot of possible examples in Germany. You could imagine in this village, Mörsdorf, in Hunsrück region, they would oppose the wind power because they see, oh, so terrible wind power. No, there's only acceptance in this village. They love the wind power because they bring them money and they can replace a lot of installations of the kindergartens and plenty others, what they could recreate with wind power. In solar power, you can go to a lot of areas. For example, combine solar power with agriculture. This Italian farmer on the left picture makes it since 10 years. And he told us, oh, I have a double yield from my farmland, crops and solar electricity. And the crops, I have better crops yields than my neighbors because we are in a very dry region and the shadowing of the photovoltaic module saves the water in the ground. So I have yield more on crops. He cannot understand why the other farmers will not follow this example. But you can create photovoltaics also with biodiversity. Plenty flowers, beans, butterflies, a lot of insects, birds live under these modules. You can go to the rooftops everywhere. You can save our motorways, our streets by hardly rains, by snow and others with photovoltaics. You have only benefits and a lot of electricity. Even in big dense cities in Istanbul, you can create your balconias to create solar. This is an example from Kiev. I don't know if it is under operation or if it is destroyed by bombs in the war. You can go to new technologies with hydropower. People often oppose hydropower, they would kill the fishes. This technology, a wonderful new water snail, save all fishes, all organisms. They can swim through these water snails without being killed. No big dams and a lot of electricity you can earn. Go to bioenergy, biogas and biofuel. You can combine it. Take your sludge from the biogas station and make a fertilizer for your areas. Then you need no mineral fertilizer from Ukraine or from Belarus or from Russia, where the prices are so highly pricing, where the prices get more and more high. Take your geothermal potential. You have in Turkey a lot of geothermal potential. You can go to the deep underground and take out the hot water or make it with hot dry rock method systems. Plenty possibilities we have. But the importance for the future is go to complete concepts for 100% renewables. Invest not only in the wind park there, in a solar park on the other side, and biogas station on the third. And the grid operator will tell you, oh, it is so hard for me, I cannot integrate them. Therefore, do it by yourself. Make integrated concepts a mix of renewables in your investment, compared with batteries, with storage system, heat storage systems, with a digitalization, and with bidirectionally charging your electric cars, that you can use your batteries in your houses to store the energy from solar and wind during night and others. The technologies are right, we can do it. Go to complete concepts on local level with 100% renewables in heating, electricity, and mobility. When you go this way, you will see it goes very fast. We have the chance to go to 100% renewables to save our climate, but we must go very fast. 100% renewables by 2030. And the best way is you do it in your region, in your house, in your village, in your town, in your country. Then the cheap energy will bring a lot of followers because they fear pricing fossil and nuclear prices. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Hans-Josef Fell. You and Hermann Schier, maybe we have contributed a little bit also. We have brought the idea to a reality globally now. So since 12 years, we are organizing this conference. Remember when you were in the parliament together with Hermann Schier, trying to convince the German authorities to support the renewable energy, where in a country with less wind, less sun, because so many people remember you and other friends now active in the renewable energy were coming to my organized workshops in Sarıgerme, in southern Anatolia, in 20 workshops.
I remember well.
Yeah, we did interact, and this was a school for everybody. Still, we have some of the Sarıgerme participants in the government offices serving for renewable energy. Some of them are retired. We are also retired, but we don't give up. Till the 100%, 100 cities of this European Union mission, you know this. Now in Turkey, we have Izmir and Istanbul selected as some of those 100 cities for 2030 to be climate neutral. And in Turkey, it's more possible to go to 100% renewable compared to Germany. And if you remember at that time in Germany, but Utrecht, Advan Wyk made a study in Utrecht University, OECD countries wind potential. I have supplied Turkish wind atlas statistics to him, which I did in 1989. And at that study, the Germany had 8 gigawatt capacity and Turkey had 83 gigawatt capacity. Now in your country, we have 50 gigawatt wind or solar, whatever, and in Turkey we are still 15, but it's okay. We are progressing, and wind and solar doesn't need anybody's offer. So by themselves, 2015, renewable energy became the cheapest option, and without even internalizing the externalities. So we have the hope, and before we die, you and me, we'll see, hopefully, that 100% cities. Thank you very much again for your contribution. Thanks for accepting our invitation.
Yeah, now, I have to go out because I have a next conference.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and good success, and
yes,
plenty success for your work, all others, and best greetings from Germany to you.
Thank you, Hans-Josef. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye, Tanay.
Bye-bye.